What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Fantasy Puck video. It's Chris. Happy holidays. And today we're going to be doing another tier list for you guys. This time we're going to be tackling the defensemen. I've got the top 20 defensemen here for you guys. I did decide to include all the big names like Josi, Fox, Makar. I left some of these players out in previous videos for the simple fact that it really kind of, gets me to some deeper players. I decided not to do that for the sake of simplicity and just have kind of like the top 20 consensus guys here. There are arguments to be made for each one, obviously, but before we get started, guys, make sure that you're checking us out on Discord. If you guys are interested in fantasy hockey and want to join our constant growing community, please make sure that you're joining our Discord. It's in the description down below. We have a ton of channels for you guys available, whether it's trades, ads, streams. Come check us out on Discord. Huge community. More than welcome to come join us. As always, be sure that you're following us on Twitter as well. Don does an unbelievable job of keeping us up to date on all the fantasy hockey news and trends, including injuries, updates, lineup changes, everything along that. And so definitely make sure that you're following us on Twitter as well. And then if you guys are interested in signing up for Prize Picks, be sure that you use code PUCK. We have a December promotion going on right now, guys, that is available in our Discord. So make sure that if you're interested in signing up for Prize Picks, make sure you use code PUCK, first of all, and join our Discord and enter to see kind of what promotion we've got going on for December. So definitely check that out in our Discord. And then as well, guys, we have a bunch of premium options for you guys on our Patreon, which includes things like player projections, our trade analyzer, and an exclusive Discord section for you guys that are Patreon members that are going to get priority over any type of questions or concerns that you guys have with your team. The Fantasy Puck team is more than happy to come and answer that for you guys, and you guys do get priority over the rest of the Discord in that sense as well. All right, guys, so we've got our top 20 D-man here. This is kind of a mix of preseason ranking and current ranking. I wanted to include some guys that are either doing really hot or really poorly. I wanted to condense it to 20 guys. This is the 20 that I picked. I decided to leave like I said earlier, the big names in just for simplicity's sake, because a lot of people are getting confused as to like, why you don't have the best players in your top 20 tier list. And even though I say it at the beginning of every video, it just seems to be an issue for you guys. So I included the top 20. We might do something a little bit later with this tier list if you guys want me to expand into like some deeper defensemen, or leave a comment down below and I'll let you guys know where I kind of rate them so far this season. Again, guys, this is going based off of right now in the regular season. Up first is Shea Theodore of the Vegas Golden Knights, and he's having a pretty good season so far this year. 22 points in 29 games, 74 shots, 11 hits, and 41 blocks. I will kind of be taking into consideration things like plus minus and so on and so forth. Just because, defensemen do play kind of a more key role in that sense, just because of how often they play. But for the most part, Theodore's plus minus is very good at plus 14. He has a really high shot volume at 74. That's pretty high for a defenseman. You add 41 blocks to that as well, guys. And he's having a decent year so far, so I'm tempted to put him in good. The only reason why I wouldn't have him necessarily in elite is the fact that he's only got 5 power play points on the year. When you have a power play 1 defenseman, I know him and Petro kind of are splitting and going back and forth, and they are constant. Like Vegas likes to run 2 power plays, but I think for the most part, like Theodore's just been solid this year. 22 points, like that's very good for a defenseman, and he's been good for me this year. Up next is Adam Fox of the New York Rangers, guys. Point per game right now in the NHL, 31 points in 31 games, 7 goals, 24 assists, 11 power play points, 64 shots, 14 hits, and 44 blocks. That's a pretty good stat line for a defenseman, especially that he's at a point per game right now with 11 power play points. I'm going to throw him in elite right now. The only reason why I don't have him in league winner quite yet is just the fact that his shot volume is kind of on the lower end. As you'll see with some of the other defensemen on this tier list, they are close to, if not at a point per game, and then they do something elite on top of that, whether it's like a high block or shot rate, as well as the fact that they are like an elite power play guy as well too. So that's why I have Adam Fox in elite right now. Really the main separation that I feel like is going to have him in between the elite and the league winners is just like an exceptional shot rate or an exceptional block or hit rate as well, guys. So that's where I have Fox right now, probably at the top, if not a league winner, but I'm going to keep him in elite for right now. Up next is Thomas Chabot of the Ottawa Senators, guys, and he's somebody that I really had high expectations for going into this year, but unfortunately hasn't been up to par with at least my standards for him. 16 points in 24 games. He's got 8 power play points, 58 shots, as well as 28 hits and 35 blocks. So kind of on like the lower end. I know that Ottawa's definitely struggled, and I didn't expect Chabot to really struggle as much. Only 24 games played though, so he's definitely missed out on a couple games due to injury. But I'm going to have Chabot in the okay category for me this year, guys. He's really kind of been a little bit underwhelming, I will say, in the production category as well on the power play. I expected that Ottawa power play just because of how good they've been for Chabot to at least be more involved within that power play as well. But, you know, pretty good shot rate as well. Like 58 shots in 24 games is pretty good. And, you know, I'm hoping his production starts to step it up a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to have him in the okay category. Another guy that we had super high expectations for is Moritz Seider of the Detroit Red Wings, and he's very, very close to being in the bust category, but I am going to put him in okay. He's got 12 points on the year so far, guys. 4 power play points, 46 shots, and 64 hits, and 67 blocks. And the 2 latter stats is really why I have him in okay and not in bust, is the fact that he's still contributing to these 2 key stats, which are hits and blocks, which are big for defensemen, especially getting both at such a high rate, like over 60 for each of them, closer to 70 blocks as well too. Like that's one of the better combos, I think, is, and again, like why you drafted Seider is because of how good and consistent his peripherals have been. His shot rate's kind of been lower this year as well too, and obviously his production's taken a huge drop off. So I'm gonna have him in the okay category for me. Up next is Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks. We talked about plus minus being a thing, guys. Hughes' plus minus is like he's only -1 right now, but really what sets him in. Up next is Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks, guys. And I know I talked about plus minus being a thing. Hughes is -1 right now in the year. Obviously, Vancouver's not doing too hot. He's got 25 assists in 25 games, 0 goals on the year so far, guys. But he does have 13 power play points, 45 shots, 1 hit, and 27 blocks. So for me, like Quinn Hughes is right on par with Adam Fox. The only reason why he's not in the good category is just because of how good he's been on the power play. I think that's really the difference between him and Theodore. Even though Theodore has a much higher shot rate, Hughes is also a point per game right now and is an elite power play guy as well. So that's kind of pushed him in the elite category. It's tough for me to kind of put a point per game defenseman in the good category, especially when he's got 13 power play points on the year. So I think that's really the only separation between him and Theodore. Up next is Drew Doughty of the LA Kings. 18 points in 32 games with the 8 power play points, 58 shots, 49 hits, 47 blocks. Pretty well-rounded. Plus minus isn't really an issue for him either. He's +1 on the year, so obviously not great, but at the same time, not awful. Right at that even mark, similar to Quinn Hughes. I think he's good. He hits every category very well. He's got 8 power play points on the year. He's also got 58 shots and then a well-rounded 49 hits and 47 blocks. So he's pretty well-rounded. Not bad either, like 8 power play points, so 3 more than Theodore. So I think they're kind of even out. Just depends on what you're looking for out of defenseman, but Doughty's been solid. Mackenzie Weegar, and another guy that I'm very tempted to put into bust, but I am going to have an okay. His production is abysmal right now. He's only got 7 points total on the year. He's just nowhere near in terms of production, so I'm very tempted to just put him in bust for right now. I think I'm going to leave him in bust just because of how bad his production's been. Like, he's only 7 points on the year, no power play points, and no goals either. So, tough year for Weegar, but he still gives you those peripheral categories. Up next is Kris Letang, and it's absolutely crazy that he's still playing hockey after having a stroke. 14 points in 24 games so far this season, -6 on the year. Pretty similar stat line to say like Doughty in terms of his peripherals with only 4 power play points. And, you know, his production's been okay. Worse than Chabot's, honestly. But the fact that he hits, I'm going to have him in the okay category. Him and Chabot are kind of similar in terms of their lack of production and the fact that, you know, like they haven't been good in terms of power play production as well either for being the #1 power play guy. And it's really just yin and yang, where Chabot definitely shoots more than Letang, but the Letang's a little bit more well-rounded in terms of his peripherals. So I'm still going to have him in the okay category. His production just hasn't been up to standard as to what I expect out of him being that #1 power play guy in Pittsburgh. But I expect that to definitely turn around similar to Chabot. But for right now, I'm just going to have him in the okay category. Oh boy, if you got Josh Morrissey anywhere close to his ADP this year, guys, you got an absolute steal in the draft. I think he's actually 3rd in points for defenseman right now. 33 points in 29 games, so he's over a point per game. He's +12, And just like the thing that really isn't super attractive about Morrissey is his peripheral stats. Only 46 shots, only 30 hits, only 43 blocks, like it's a decent amount, but just because of his production, I'm going to have him towards the bottom of the elite category. His peripherals aren't really strong, but the fact that he's having such a strong year, and on top of that, he's got 11 power play points. Like, it's hard not to put him in the elite category when he's over a point per game, plus 12 on the year. So decent overall all around, but kind of lower on the peripherals end. Not quite a league winner, but he's in elite. Up next is my boy Rasmus Dahlin. He's got 35 points in 29 games. He's plus 13. 19 power play points, guys, with 91 shots on goal, 43 hits, 49 blocks. Our first league winner of this list. Up next is Jacob Trouba of the New York Rangers, guys, and I am going to put him in the good category, even though he's only got 9 points on the year, and the number one reason is because of how good his peripheral stats are. 87 shots, 98 hits, and 77 blocks. I'm still playing this guy every single week, and I would love to have this guy on my team just because of, like I said, how good he hits those three categories at such an elite rate. He's definitely good for me so far this season. Sergachev is having a great year in Tampa Bay. He's kind of taken over that number one role from Hedman in terms of the power play. He's got 13 power play points on the year, 27 points as well, guys. You know what? I have Morrissey in elite, so I almost feel obligated to put Sergachev there just because he's, again, a point per game. And even though he doesn't hit those peripheral categories, he does have 13 power play points on the year. So I'm going to throw him right up there ahead of Morrissey, I think, because, his peripherals are just slightly better. Cale Makar, everybody kind of expected him to be a Hart Trophy candidate this year. He hasn't quite been that, but that doesn't mean he's been bad. His 26 points on the year puts him 6th amongst defensemen in 28 games. He's +1 on the year with 15 power play points. He's an absolute stud on the Colorado power play. 87 shots, 34 hits, 40 blocks. He's a league winner, and the only reason why I have him above Fox is just because of his shot volume, guys. Like, it's so much higher, and he hits as well too. He's got 34 hits and 40 blocks, and then you throw in 15 power play points at a point per game defenseman. Like, he just does things that these guys in elite do, and then has a really high shot volume on top of that. So Makar's a league winner, obviously. Speaking of league winners, Mr. Erik Karlsson, the resurgence himself, is back. 38 points in 31 games. He's -5 on the year, but I really don't care because he's got 38 points for me. 9 of which are on the power play. 92 shots on goal, guys, with 12 hits and 32 blocks. He's a league winner for me this year. Point per game, over 90 shots on net, and then 9 power play points to go along with that. I think it's justifiable to put him in league winner. Dougie Hamilton, not quite a point per game. He's got 23 points in 30 games. He's +14 on the year. The Devils are just an absolute wagon. I say it every time I see a player. He's got 104 shots on goal, guys, which is a lot. And then 25 hits and 30 blocks. He's in the elite category for me. He would absolutely normally be a league winner if he was anywhere closer to that point per game. Up next is John Carlson of the Washington Capitals, and a very similar situation to Dougie Hamilton. 19 points, 26 games, really high shot rate. He's got 92 shots on the year, and then 62 blocks as well with 30 hits. The thing I'm most surprised about is only 6 power play points from him. I was really expecting those totals to be higher. But yeah, if he was anywhere close to a point per game, he would be a league winner for me. Up next is Miro Heiskanen of the Dallas Stars. Currently has 23 points in 28 games, 5 goals, 18 assists. He's +9 on the year with 11 power play points, 72 shots on goal, guys. And you know what? He's been solid. Like, his peripheral stats, his hits, only 20 hits on the year and only 35 blocks. I'm going to have him in the good category, guys. If he was closer to a point per game, or if he had a much higher shot volume, he would be right up there with those elite guys. But just given his peripheral categories, like, he's good, but, I can't really justify putting him in an elite category just because he's not anywhere close to a point per game. Up next is Brent Burns of the Carolina Hurricanes. And Burns has been a pleasant surprise so far this season, guys. 20 points in 29 games, 4 goals, 16 assists, 9 power play points, and 96 shots on the year. Very, very, very high shot volume. I'm going to throw him at the bottom of the elite category so far, guys. The only reason why I was teetering on putting him in good, or I was at least thinking about putting him in good, was the fact that, like, his production isn't really close to a point per game. But because his shot rate is so high and is such a unique ability, I feel like I have to put him in elite so far this season, and then you throw 9 power play points on top of that. And like I said, the fact that he's got, 96 shots on the year, really, really good. The fact he's got 96 shots on the year and 9 power play points, guys, like it just, like, you don't get that a lot in terms of the defenseman. So I feel like he's very similar to Dougie Hamilton in that sense, that his shot rate is very, very high. Even though his other peripheral categories aren't as strong, he makes up for it with his crazy high shot volume. He's pretty much a forward at this point, and it's nice to definitely have him on defense and then be chipping in power play points as well. Up next is Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and this one's going to kind of be difficult for me to rate, guys. Obviously, we know his production took a huge hit. He's only got 16 points on the year, 54 shots, 43 hits, and 52 blocks. And I'm probably going to have him somewhere in the okay category. Like, he hasn't been a complete bust, but at the same time, like, we were obviously expecting a much, much better year out of Victor Hedman, just based off of previous years as well, too, especially like his power play totals, too, guys. Like, if you go and you look, like, it's significantly down from last year. He's only got 5 on the year, so I'm going to have him in the okay category. Not quite a bust, but similar kind of expectations as we had for Seider and Chabot, and he's just been okay. Definitely hold on to him if you guys have him. I anticipate that his production will definitely pick up, as well as the rest of his peripheral stats, just kind of as the year progresses. And then finally, rounding out our list, we have the shot goat himself, Roman Josi, 125 shots on the year with 72 blocks, 23 points in 28 games, like just 10 power play points as well. Just an absurd amount of shots and block volume from a guy, even though he's only got 21 hits on the year. Like, that's comparable to some of the good and okay players. This guy's an absolute unicorn in the league. Nobody has the shot rate that he does. And then you throw in a huge block rate as well with 72. He's just such a rare piece to have in the league, and doesn't really do what other defensemen do in terms of, like, shot volume, and in terms of, like, who is the second highest in terms of shots for defensemen? It's Dougie Hamilton, and he's at 104. And Josi's all the way at 125. And then you look at blocks as well, too. Like, Josi's in the top 5 in blocks. He's kind of like the defensive version of Brady Tkachuk, except instead of hitting a bunch, he blocks a bunch. So yeah, Josi's an absolute league winner for me. I probably have him at 2 or 3 here, like close to Makar. I think Dahlin's just outright the best defenseman right now in terms of if you were looking at just purely stat-wise. But I could definitely make an argument for Josi. But that's this list, guys. I might do a couple revisions. Give me 2 seconds, and then I'll let you know if I change anything. You know what, guys? I'm pretty happy with this list. I know you can make arguments for guys like, I think Burns is going to get some comments. I think Heiskanen's going to get some comments. Theodore might get some comments. Even Trouba. I think you could honestly, like, make a case for any of the okay guys being busts, or vice versa. But I'm happy with this list, guys. Let me know in the comments down below where I hit, where I missed, what you guys thought. And then some of the defensemen that I didn't include. If you guys want to know where I'd kind of rate them, let me know in the comments down below. Happy to hear the feedback on this as well, guys. If you guys enjoy this series, I know a lot of the time, like, it's pretty opinionated, and it's just kind of like where I see players and how I rate players. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this. So if you are, make sure to leave a like on the video, guys, and hit that subscribe button. We've got goalies coming next week to kind of conclude the series. Really appreciate your guys' feedback and everything so far, guys, and thank you guys for your opinions and where you kind of have led me astray and telling me that I was way off on guys like Rupe. But I'm interested to see what you guys have. Defense is hard, man. Like, defense there, it's very difficult to kind of like rate defensemen based off of, like, okay, this guy has better shot volume, this guy has a better hit volume, like, it's so much in that sense. And we've only done 20 of them so far. I missed guys like Ekblad, and obviously didn't include Riley because of his injury. Who else did I miss that was big? Petro, for example, he only played 23 games, but yeah, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I will be more than happy to answer your guys' questions and feedback as well too, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy holidays, and like I said, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next Fantasy Puck video. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day.